Oh, are we ready? Women in sales, all of you entrepreneurs, leaders, and women in sales. Today we're going to be talking about chill, allow, and hustle. To be successful, you got to sell. And to sell, you have to have great mojo. And to have great mojo, you have to be able to chill, allow, and hustle. Today I'm going to be talking about the emotions that stop you from doing that, and to define what do I mean about chill, allow, and hustle. Get ready because we're going to have some fun today talking about women in sales.
We're bold, brave, seen, heard. We're paid well, bold, brave, seen, heard. We're power women. I'm a power woman. Bold and brave and well paid. Woman. I've seen and heard a great leader. We're experts and leaders expanding together as women, connecting and growing, we're powerful.
You know, every time I hear that song, I just can't help but move. And we're talking today, and it's perfect because it sets up the perfect mode to about chill, allow, and hustle. But before we go there, we have to be aware that when we're not in that vibe of chilling, the vibe of allowing, and the vibe of hustling, there are certain things that are holding us back. We really need to be very much aware when negative emotions enter our brain. Negative emotions, not only in our brain, but in our body. Because when this happens, we can stop the process of being in this cool, chill, allowing hustle mode. And that impacts your sales. That impacts how you're perceived. That impacts how you use your voice, how you show up in confidence. And I want to be able to clear that up. So let's just start with the first emotion, which is fear. Fear of others. Now, this happens 3 times that I see when I'm working with people. First is fear of just making the call, making the email, reaching out to somebody. What would they think of me? What will happen if they see me? What if I stumble? What if I falter? What if I don't close the deal? Lots of what if questions come from fear. And when we do that what if about what's going to go wrong, that will solidify our fear, make it even harder for us to start the process of just being out there and sharing our brilliance, sharing our solutions, and sharing what we have. Fear holds us back because we're perceiving of what others will think of us or the results we won't have. And we want to make sure that fear stays at bay, that's not there, because you and I both know that when we start the process of reaching out, it just goes and flows easily. The second emotion that stops us is this sense of insecurity. So maybe you looked at your account and you started to see, oh my gosh, where's the money coming in? Where is how, these automatic bills are coming in? Or maybe you're getting pressure from outside forces to say, where are your numbers? How are you doing with your numbers? How are you doing with your sales calls? How are you doing with your intentions that you set it? So you're getting a sense of that you're not secure, that you're not feeling solid. And for women, that both fear and that sense of insecurity can really knock us off our sales game, can really knock us off our sharing game. And so I want to be able to take your hands, and if you would, you just put your hands on your hips, because if you put your hands on your hips, you and you take your hands on your hips and you rub it to your front belly and rub it to your back. And that is where a woman's sense of security is, her sense of production, her sense of clarity, her sense of real solidness. Our hips and our lower back and our abdomen, pelvic region is so much of our strength. And if you rub it, you just say it. I am strong. I am secure. I got this. I've been able to handle so much. I know I have this. This is really important when you're talking about the issue of having a sense of security. For some of you that do chakra work, it's why you're working on your root chakra and working at your Muladhara chakra. Your sense of pleasure is critically important in terms of sales. It's a very, very important place for you to play your energy. The third fear that stops a lot of women in sales from having this chill, allowing, and this hustle come through is the sense of not enoughness. Now, this could come from different perspectives. One, not enoughness, if you're on social media and you're seeing your competitors or you're seeing people doing stuff in your industry and you're like, oh my gosh, they closed it. All you need to do is to call a client. They said, oh man, I missed you by 2 or 3 minutes or hours or days, and I just booked so and so. And that can set up a sense of not enoughness in you, which when that gets in, that it becomes a worm in your head. It really does. It becomes a worm in your head. And that comes from your confidence, your own sense of self, your own sense of power. And that's why you really want to be able to take your hands in a different space. You take your hands, you cover them like this, you touch just above your belly button where your solar plexus is. And there you could find, I am more than enough. I am amazing. I am loved. I love me. This is where it is. And when you hold that space and when you then begin to take it and you start, I'm moving with my hands, you can't see it, but I'm going back with my hands. I'm touching my solar plexus, I'm pushing it out. I'm touching my solar plexus, I'm putting it out. When you start doing this, you create some internal momentum of feeling like, yeah, wait a minute, I'm awesome. I'm great. So what? I missed that one call. There is something bigger and better and more powerful for me. Now, this leads me to the 3 key pieces about really selling success from a perspective of how do you make sales from a place of chill, allow, and hustle. So the first piece is be chill. One of the things that's really key is you can be enthusiastic, and trust me, I am super enthusiastic. You can be excited. Yes, you know that I can be super excited, but you also have to know that you have to feel chill. There's a sense of calmness, there's a sense of peace, and that comes from you. The truth of the matter is, you know sales, you know your product, you know your service, you know the outcomes, you know who it's designed for, you know who you made this for, you know who your perfect client is. And that's why you can be chill. Now, if you don't know these things, you have to do a little bit of work and a little bit of more awareness about who and what you're serving, what your product is, and what the results are, so that you can be totally chill. You got this. You know that you're in service. And that is a key point for women. You have to know that you are in service. Being chill means I'm in service. I brought you the solution. This is going to bring you the results you want. This is exactly how you want to feel. And that is critically important when you are in chill mode. And women in sales who know this are very successful in their business. The second part is to allow good fortune to show up. This is an affirmation that you want to embrace. I allow good fortune to show up for me. I allow myself to sashay into the room. I allow myself to feel amazing. I allow good fortune to show up in my life all the time. The more you can think about all the good fortune you have, the more good fortune shows up for you. Now, that's just not a statement, that's a truth. And so, how do you decide what good fortune is for you? This is where you define for yourself what success looks like. Maybe it's a number of calls that you make. Maybe it's a number of sales that you're closing. Now, if those numbers tend to put you in a place of fear or insecurity or not enoughness, you don't use that. Use other ways of good fortune. One of the things that I changed, and you see my eyes looking over to the wall, one of the shifts that I made was really what makes me happy in terms of my sales and success. So I'm going to read off my wall that I keep in front of me because that's my wall that tells me this is successful. You know what makes me successful is freedom. I love all the freedom I have. I love the freedom to do my business the way I want to do sales. So it gives me the life that I want. I love that. That is my good fortune, and it shows up all the time. The other is orgasmic. Oh, it feels so good when I'm serving the right people, when I'm doing my sales, when I'm absolutely closing deals. Oh, it feels so orgasmic. That feeling inside of, oh, yeah, 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 it feels fantastic. I love it. So I use orgasmic as an experience that I know is part of my success, my good fortune, that I have that a lot in my life, that I have a sense of choices. I have lots of choices. I can choose to do this. I can choose to do that. I can choose to wear this. I can choose to wear that. Those choices for me, that's for me, that those emotions of freedom and choices and being orgasmic are part of my good fortune, part of what I'm choosing to receive, part of what I have. And prosperity and abundance and money is great. I love closing those. I love having that. But notice that I'm saying it a lot. And notice how you might be feeling hearing me say that. So you want to allow good fortune to show up. And it starts with what you say and how you present yourself. It starts with what you're experiencing in that moment and speaking from that joyous good fortune experience. There are lots of words to describe high value emotions if that's what you want to use. But you also have to be able to kind of rev up your engine to say, I allow good fortune in. This is critically important. The next thing is to hustle to produce positive results. Hustle has gotten a really bad name in the past, because it feels like it's a driving force and you got to have this. I choose to think of hustle as the old song. Do, 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 do the hustle. The hustle produces high energy, high positive results. The reason I love calling and inviting people to play with me, to work with me, to be part of it is because I'm going to produce positive results for them. I enjoy celebrating, giving people positive results. I enjoy being next to them when they're having a really great high five moment. That's awesome. That is really important, that you want to hustle to produce positive results, not necessarily hustling to meet a number, because a number is, honestly, it's just a number. It's not an emotion. It's not a feeling. It's not a way of you being able to truly say, oh, number 1,225,000. That's just a number. What you want to recognize and hustle is what was the result of achieving that number. How did it make you feel? How did it make your client feel? How did it make the people feel when you had those positive results? And that's what you want to hustle for. Hustle is a dance. Hustle is a dance of twirls, of spins, about relationships, about building a connection together so that you can feel the hustle. That's what that is. So let us be clear that the three things you really need to be looking at is to being chill, to allow good fortune to show up, and to make sure that you're hustling to produce positive results. Not hustle to drive things through and pound, but hustle where you're dancing and swaying and playing and enjoying the process. Beware of negative emotions that enter your brain. Just beware when fear is showing up or you're having a sense of insecurity or not enoughness. I am Pigine, and I am so happy that you're all here with me. Always check out powerwomenworldwide.com to see what's new, what's coming up, what events are showing up. Look forward to seeing you all very shortly. Take care, my friends. Take care and make sure that you're having some fun.
Be fearless, have fun.